Are you sure your freezer is really safe? Some frozen foods at Costco may look convenient and even appear healthy on the label, but in reality, they're loaded with salt preservatives and harmful additives that older adults should never touch. What makes it worse is that many of these items end up in the shopping carts of millions of people every week without anyone suspecting a thing, and Costco has never made an effort to warn you about it. If you've ever picked frozen food at Costco thinking this brand is trustworthy, then this video is your wake-up call. Because there are at least 5 frozen items that people over 50 should avoid at all costs. But don't lose hope just yet, because we'll also share 2 safe frozen options you and your family can rely on at Costco. Watch until the end because the distance between dinner and a hospital bed in America has never been this close. Number 1. Marie Callender's Chicken Pot Pie. If someone told you that a tiny pie could raise your blood pressure, dehydrate you, and push you into taking medication a week earlier than expected, would you believe it? Probably not, because it looks harmless. But if you've ever grabbed a Marie Callender's Chicken Pot Pie from Costco's freezer aisle, you'll want to keep reading. No one tells you that this little pie packs more than 1,000 milligrams of sodium. No one slaps on a clear warning label that says, "This may be dangerous if you're on a low-salt diet or managing your blood pressure." And Costco certainly doesn't take responsibility for what happens to your health after you eat it. Instead, they place it right on the eye-level shelf, a familiar brand. A pretty package. And nobody bothers to ask, does the shopper really know what they're eating? The most frustrating part is realizing that when you thought you were making the right choice, picking something convenient yet decent, you were really falling straight into a trap. The crust is soft and soggy, sticking to your teeth. The chicken filling is thick with a taste that reminds you of canned food left sitting too long, and you only realize it after you're almost done eating. Maybe you never paid attention, because Costco never reminded you to. They didn't put up a warning sign next to it. They didn't place it beside a healthier option for you to compare. They just quietly stock the shelves and watch these pies fly off. The people who trust the most are the ones who lose the most. You bought it because you once liked it. Because you thought, at least it's Marie Callender, so it should be fine. But a name can't cover up the truth. Sky-high sodium loads of saturated fat, a laundry list of preservatives, and no one willing to admit fault when someone has to up their medication because of one frozen dinner. Have you ever seen Costco warn you about this item? No, because it sells too well. The real question is, if they're not on your side, who will be? Number 2. Kirkland Signature Italian Sausage and Beef Lasagna. It's hard to pass up a hefty tray of lasagna that serves 8 stamped with the Kirkland label, a name that has long made people feel like they're getting premium quality at a good price. But what's inside that tray is nothing like what Kirkland once stood for. And if you've ever thought, if it's Kirkland, it should be fine, this is the moment to think again. Let's be honest. Have you ever opened the box sliced into the layers and seen the meat and sauce blended into one mushy blob with no clear lines? The pasta sheets are thick, yet chewy and dry. The cheese on top shrivels into a hard crust just minutes after it comes out of the oven. Instead of the soft, melt-in-your-mouth feel of real Italian food, it tastes like a cheap frozen knockoff trying to disguise itself with the familiar brand name. Costco knows exactly why customers buy this price and convenience. One big tray that can be split into multiple meals, perfect for people looking to save cooking time. And because they know that they feel no need to improve the quality. No need to warn you either. No one tells you that the meat sauce is so sweet it tastes more like canned tomato sauce from the bargain aisle. No one points out that the gooey cheese topping isn't 100% natural mozzarella. And certainly no one warns you that the Italian sausage flavor might leave you thirsty for hours. Not just from the salt, but from the artificial flavor enhancers hidden neatly under natural flavoring. Costco doesn't force you to buy it, but they also don't tell you what you're really eating. Honestly, how many of us have bought this tray of lasagna just because we thought Kirkland is trustworthy, and how many of us keep buying it even though every time we finish it, we feel a little let down. When trust is misplaced, it's not just a bad meal. It's the feeling of being taken advantage of. And the most frustrating part is not even realizing it's happening. They don't change the recipe. They don't apologize. They don't promise to do better. They just keep selling. And we keep buying unless we wake up. That tray of lasagna might still be sitting in your freezer. You might already be planning to heat it up this weekend. But before you do ask yourself this, if it's no longer what you thought it was, why keep holding on to it? Number 3. Bibigo shrimp fried rice. If you're looking to cut down cooking time but still eat well, be careful with this frozen fried rice. Convenience shouldn't come with hidden trade-offs. Bibigo shrimp fried rice is no stranger in Costco's freezer section. The packaging is bright with glossy red shrimp, golden rice, and colorful vegetables, all promising a healthy Asian choice for nights you don't feel like cooking. But the moment you heat it up and take a bite, you realize the reality is completely different. Let's start with the shrimp, the very reason most people buy it. The problem, it's inconsistent. Some bags have a decent amount, others only a few tiny scraps. Even worse, the texture often turns out mushy, soft, almost melting into a fish paste-like bite. Instead of that firm, sweet, ocean-fresh taste you expect from shrimp, what you get feels questionable. Then there's the rice. Anyone who has had real fried rice knows it should be dry with separate grains carrying a light aroma of sesame oil or soy sauce. In this version, the rice is soggy and clumped together as if it had just been steamed. Some people even said they had to stir-fry it again in a pan with real oil just to make it edible, which of course completely defeats the point of convenience. No one tells you exactly how it's seasoned, but most people end up adding soy sauce or extra salt. And that's when it becomes a real risk for anyone who needs to watch their sodium intake. So the question is, why would a frozen product advertised as ready to eat force the customer to fix it, re-season it, or even recook it? There's another detail many overlook: the vegetables in this dish barely taste like vegetables. You might find a few carrots or peas, but they're bland, mushy, and far from fresh. The biggest issue here isn't even the flavor. It's the lack of respect for the consumer. Bibigo knows this product sells because of its healthy image and convenience. But they never mention that you're likely getting more soggy rice than shrimp, or that you'll have to fix it yourself for it to match the picture on the bag. And Costco. They place it right next to Bibigo Mandu, the dumplings that sell like crazy to trigger that full brand trust. The more you buy, the easier it is to toss this fried rice into your cart without a second thought. Have you ever tried it? Cooked it up only to find it completely different from what you expected? If so, then you know the disappointment of a dish that's been overdressed turning out to be more frustrating than filling. Number 4. Kirkland chicken bakes. There are some foods people don't buy because they're delicious, but simply because they're familiar. Kirkland's chicken bakes fall squarely into that category. Every Costco trip just passing by the food court means catching that faint smell of something baking. For years, people have called it a quick lunch or the best bang for your buck at Costco. Many even grab the frozen version to keep stocked at home. But because it's so familiar, nobody ever stops to ask, what is this really? Here's the truth. This isn't a chicken sandwich. It's a thick roll of dough stuffed with cheese sauce and bits of industrial chicken baked until the outside turns golden. That's the entire formula. And if you think of it as a balanced meal, unfortunately, that's nostalgia talking, not nutrition. Take the first bite and you'll notice the chewiness of the crust doesn't come from good yeast, but from dense, heavy dough. The filling inside is rich and salty, but vague. Yes, there's chicken, but it's buried under thick sauce, stretchy cheese, and black pepper to mask the dry, stringy texture of the meat. The problem is this: it's no longer food. It's a block of calories on the go. Each serving packs 770 calories, nearly the same as a double Big Mac. And nobody eats it with a side salad. Nobody sips water with it. It's treated exactly like fast food, quick filling, and forgotten. That's where the danger lies. You don't notice the impact until it builds up over time. Have you ever seen Costco market chicken bakes as nutritious meals? No, they don't need to. Trust was built long ago. All they have to do is sell it, toss in a frozen version for extra convenience. No need to highlight the ingredients. No need to suggest pairing it with salad or watching your calories. The point here is how they lean on customer loyalty to keep selling a product that is anything but health-friendly. Nobody tells you not to eat it, but nobody tells you exactly what you're eating either. Have you ever read the label closely? How many grams of fat? How many refined carbs? Have you ever wondered why, after finishing one, you feel heavy, thirsty, and sluggish instead of energized? They don't bother hiding anything because most customers don't look. And with every chicken bake that goes across the counter, another loyal shopper convinces themselves it's probably fine. But if you've always believed Kirkland was a guarantee of quality and transparency, maybe it's time to think again. Number 5. Red's Egg Witch Turkey Sausage Breakfast Sandwich. Not everything labeled egg turkey or high protein deserves a spot in your breakfast. Red's Egg Witch is one of the clearest examples of food trying to pretend it's healthy. On the package it looks perfect, no bread, just eggs as the bun filled with turkey sausage. It sounds light protein packed and tailor-made for anyone on a low-carb or keto diet. The problem is, that's just surface level. We're talking about a frozen breakfast reheated in the microwave, yet marketed as if it were homemade quality. A small portion that looks clean and is stocked right in Costco's healthy food section is exactly what lowers people's guard. But if you've ever eaten it, you know the truth. The egg doesn't taste like real eggs, it has that stale, dehydrated smell. Some describe it as rubbery, dry, and spongy, leaving a greasy afterfeel in the throat. And the turkey sausage. It's not a slice of fresh meat you carved yourself. It's a processed patty mixed with protein powders, texture stabilizers, and artificial flavoring designed to mimic grilled meat. Many people say it tastes overly salty, but not savory salty, in a way that leaves you chugging water afterward. So why does it still sell so well? Because the packaging is clever. It says all the things you want to hear: gluten-free, low-carb, high-protein, keto-friendly. And nobody stops to ask where that protein really comes from, or what was traded off for the low carbs. Have you ever been drawn in by those words, tossed it into your cart without checking the ingredient list? What's more shocking is how much fat each Egg-A-Witch packs, mostly from overcooked eggs, pre-processed oils, and the sausage itself. But because it skips the bread, people assume it's lighter and safer. Completely wrong. The issue here isn't just taste. It's the deliberate blur between healthy eating and thinking you're eating healthy. Red's isn't lying, but they're not being honest either. And Costco. They place it right next to the organic section, so you automatically assume it belongs in the same category of values. No extra explanation needed, and customers just believe it. Have you ever thought this was a smart breakfast choice? Ever finished one and still felt heavy, wondering why? If the answer is yes, now you know where the problem lies. And maybe it's time to let your body make the decision instead of letting the slogans on a package do it for you. Costco's frozen food section has been slipping in quality, no doubt about it. But the truth is, not everything in those freezers is suspicious. If you know how to pick, you can still find a few items that are genuinely worth keeping. And here are 2 safe choices you can count on. Number 1. Kirkland Signature Frozen Organic Mixed Berries. Not many frozen foods manage to pass the test of time and picky consumers, but this berry mix is one of the rare ones that actually does. Yes, it's from Kirkland, but this time it's different. Look at the packaging and you won't see flashy claims like Superfood Magic Detox or Made for Your Heart. Just one simple line: organic mixed berries. And the ingredient list: short and clean strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. No added sugar, no flavors, no dyes. That's the first big win. And it's something too many frozen products today have forgotten. You might ask what's so special about frozen fruit. A lot, actually. Because frozen fruit often gets dismissed as leftovers, not fresh or less nutritious than fresh. But with this product, many people who tried it admitted the flavor was still rich. The colors stayed vibrant and the texture held up after thawing. On top of that, choosing a berry mix instead of just one type gives you a range of antioxidants from anthocyanins in blueberries to vitamin C in strawberries. And this isn't marketing talk. If you've ever heard a doctor say eat more berries, you'll understand why this makes sense. Another key factor is flexibility. You can throw it into a morning smoothie, sprinkle it on yogurt, cook it into a sauce for oatmeal, or simply eat it straight as a dessert. And unlike other frozen meals, you don't need extra salt, you don't need to recook it, and you don't have to guess what you're eating. But the most important thing is this: it doesn't try to sell you a dream. No gimmicks about this will help you lose weight, no promises of longer thanks to berries. Costco, for once, isn't pushing customers to buy with emotion, but with the product itself. Remember that feeling when you open another frozen meal and wonder, I hope this is okay? With this berry bag, that feeling disappears. Instead, you'll just think, this is way better than sugary snacks or fake desserts. Of course, it's not perfect. The price can be higher than fresh fruit if you don't catch a sale, and it's not always fully stocked. But if we're talking about a safe, simple frozen food with no hidden risks, this is one of the rare items that truly deserves a spot in your freezer. Have you tried it yet? If not, maybe it's time to let something real back onto your table. Number 2. Kevin's Natural Foods Chicken Burrito Bowl. It's rare for a frozen, ready-to-eat meal to make you feel like you don't even need to double-check the label. With Kevin's Chicken Burrito Bowl, the first thing that stands out isn't the picture or even the word natural on the box. It's the lack of hype. No over-the-top promises. No buzzwords trying to pull you into some glamorous weight loss plan. And that's worth paying attention to. This burrito bowl isn't the kind of high-protein meal so many brands are trying to push. It's simply cauliflower rice, grilled chicken, lime, cilantro sauce, and a bit of salsa. Enough flavor, enough nutrition, but never too much. The chicken, which is probably the part you worry about most, is actually real grilled chicken. Not compressed slices. Not coated in artificial binders. It has real texture, visible fibers, and it doesn't fall apart into mush. You can even cut it with a fork, which is almost unheard of for frozen meals. The cauliflower rice, which might sound odd at first, turns out to be a solid choice for anyone trying to cut carbs while still staying full. Not everyone loves the taste of cauliflower, but Kevin does it well. The grains keep their bite not soggy or overly soft. Mixed with the chicken and sauce, it feels like a lighter, cleaner version of fried rice. Maybe you've tried healthy frozen meals before and walked away, disappointed by the chemical aftertaste, the bland flavors, or the fact that you were hungry again an hour later. This one isn't like that. It doesn't try to fill you up with sugar or starch. It doesn't try to trick your taste buds with artificial flavoring. Because it isn't loud or flashy, Kevin's is easy to overlook. You won't find it in the center of the freezer aisle. There aren't bold red sale tags like you see on pizza or lasagna. But maybe its quiet presence is exactly the reassurance you've been needing. Another big plus, every ingredient is clearly listed. No vague flavoring anywhere. What you read is what you eat. No surprises, no gimmicks. Of course, nothing is perfect. The portion can feel small if you're really hungry. And yes, it costs more than most frozen meals. But in return, you get something straightforward, clean, and trustworthy. A meal that doesn't make you second-guess 3 times before putting it in the microwave. It may not be love at first bite, but if you're searching for something safe enough to buy again, Kevin's deserves a spot on your list. Have you tried it yet? Or are you still holding back because of too many past disappointments? Not every frozen food is bad. But when the items we once trusted start raising questions, it's time to protect what goes on our plates. Is there a frozen product you once swore by only to give it up for good? Share your story below. And don't let familiarity fool you again.
This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage segregation. All content is presented for the purpose of exploration, analysis, and fostering discussion based on current events, public sentiment, and social trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today's analysis made you think, drop a comment so we can keep the conversations going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will never miss our next independent deep dive.